Hi, this is another one of those Music Factory extravaganzas, hammering out all these strange notes and noises in our little old antique factory here. Little old winemaker's right next door. That's the reason we put this factory in this place in the first place. Got to have good connections next door. I got a real good connection with me, though. Tim Buckley's on the show, and he's beautiful. Because his album is beautiful, what he has to say is beautiful. But his manager's pretty funny looking. He's here too. But he's beautiful. There he is, Herb Cohen, over in the corner. Before we get into our palaver here, Tim, let's listen to a little of that Hardin music. The Lady Came from Baltimore. We're deciding here what we're going to play out of Tim Buckley's album later on in the show. My producer's here, H.H. Cowan. So you're behind the scenes here at the Music Factory. What have you been doing, Tim Buckley?
Well, I was playing in Pennsylvania, and I've come up here to rest for a while, and I'm going to Boston to play.
Yeah, where are you going to play up there?
Catacombs.
Hey, I've never been to that place. What's
I
it
never
like?
have either.
How old is it?
I don't know.
5 weeks.
5 weeks?
5 weeks.
Who runs it?
I don't know.
Who runs it, Herb?
I don't know.
Nobody
Just
knows.
opened about 5 weeks ago with the young bloods.
It'll probably close by the time we get there.
If you don't know who owns it and you don't know where it is, have you got your money? No, he's got the money in front. You don't worry about things like that, Tim. I know you worry about the art in the record business, and we're going to be playing later on the show like a great, big, long, healthy cut of Goodbye and Hello. We've got to play it. To heck with the 2-minute format on the Music Factory. But this woman here, Nico, you know her?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, she has an album out that got picked recently in Cashbox. It says everyone should have it. I produced it. I paid for that review. It's called The Fairest of the Seasons.
No.
The Fairest of the Seasons, Nico, from her new album, Nico, Chelsea Girl. You know, Tim, the last time I saw you live was last fall down to the Dom when the when the mothers came in town. And you had a group then, and let me ask you a question.
That was upstairs at the balloon farm.
Yeah.
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 I worked behind the bar downstairs after.
Well, you know, despite its many changes, I call it the Dom because it's the peregrinating pineapple one week and the balloon farm the next, you know. And I saw you up there, and you were working with a group, like a regular rock group format, and then you abandoned that and went back to being a singer. What was the reason for that? Why?
I got tired of playing for people dancing, and got to be too much work with no apparent direction. You know, it just seemed it was fruitless, you know. And now I enjoy playing with the 3 people that I have, you know.
What instrumentation do you have now?
Congas and a guitar, and I play guitar.
Yeah, that should be beautiful. Well, on this record that you come out with that has become both an above-ground phenomenon and an underground conversation piece, Goodbye and Hello, you must have 100 men. It sounds like 100 in some of those symphonic passages on there.
Well, there's only one song, Goodbye and Hello, with any sort of strings or horns. The rest was done with a small ensemble, so 4 or 5 people. But we got it on a little bit sometimes.
Yeah, it's just beautiful. Ian and Sylvia are 2 of the most important acts that have happened in the last several years in the folk rock idiom. And they came down from up there in the North Country in Canada. And let's salute them with one of their own cuts, Hang On to a Dream. Ian and Sylvia, and I should say one of the most important acts, they both are together, playing and performing together, loving together, togetherness, going to the church of their choice together. All that sort of stuff. No. Here's something that I think is going to wig you out, though, Tim. This is Odetta, and she gives one of the more robust versions of Strawberry Fields Forever. Yeah. Well, that's the big warm voice of Odetta Strawberry Fields Forever was that last musical cut we played. I wonder who wrote that song. Pretty important tune, though. You know, I have a thing on here, Tim, where each week I choose a nightmare pick. This is the record that I had terrible dreams in Technicolor about the night before the show. I wanted to produce myself, but I got beaten out of the game, you know, due to fortune's fakery. And strangely enough, the record that I picked is by Hugh Masekela, and I did produce it.
Oh.
But along came, not Mary, that's the title of the track, but along came another record label and offered him the moon, and being an astronaut in spirit, he took it. So he left me with my record and a lot of goodwill and a lot of warmth for what we had done together in making 2 albums that sold pretty good. So here it is, the nightmare pick of the man I wished I had back in the studio, Hugh Masekela, Along Comes Mary. Yeah, that's strange, the nightmare pick of the week, my own record, Hugh Masekela.
Really love that.
Hey, look here, I know you've got some plans cooking and doing some writing. Where is it that you get your things together, Tim? Do you work over here on the East Coast now mostly, or are you still based in L.A.?
Oh, we play, like, you know, on both coasts. And then every once in a while pick up a few riots in between in Detroit.
Hey, I know what you mean. Well, look here, dude. Are you one of those guys, you know, like Dizzy Gillespie wrote Night in Tunisia on the inside of the lid of a trash can in Dallas, Texas? Are you one of those guys who can write on the fly like that, or do you retire to a monastery, you know, and take up Shinto?
Oh, sometimes, you know, I get a music thing happening in New York and finish the lyrics in California or something like that. All depends. Get a lot of good music ideas in New York, though.
You carry your environment, though, it sounds like, basically in your own head.
Yeah.
You don't have to be in any special place. No. How many things do you turn out in a year? When you're making an album, do you just wait until you've written enough songs, or do you sit down in front to write an album?
I start off with a conception of the whole album.
Ah, so.
Because I want a unity of the whole thing. And, like, that's what I'm into now. And I started it with the last album. Try to get a little continuity happening.
Yeah.
And so, I don't know. I want to do a double album, maybe a live album, and then one in a studio. I don't know how it's gonna work though. I have to find some place to record it, like that. Because I really dig what we do live every once in a while. You know, we get into some good music things, good rhythm things. You know, it may be important to hear. You know.
Yeah, you might try a combination of them both on the same side.
Yeah.
That might be interesting. Well, here we go with The Loving Spoonful and their new song, She Is Still a Mystery. Yeah, she's still a mystery, The Loving Spoonful. I'd like to meet that woman. Write some good songs, that group. I'm going to be playing you a thing here, Tim, by Richie Havens.
All right, it's a new one?
Yeah.
Okay.
The bearded swami of the village there. And
No.
his new thing is it's a very exciting record called No Opportunity Necessary. Tim, I've got a problem I've got to go out and check on right now. We have labor problems here at the music factory. There's a whole group of guys trying to form a union down in the shop that hammers out the whole notes because they think they should be allowed to go home at night after they get through at work. And we've got to stop this because if sentiments like that spread around here, we're not going to get anything done. So I'll be back in a minute. Yeah, well, we got rid of a few guys down there. Little cement boots out in the canyon behind the factory. No problem at all. You have to strike right at the heart of these revolts, you know. That's the way I've always tried to handle things directly. Steel jacket slugs. Look here, speaking of managers.
Where?
Yeah, that's supposed to be one over there, the Filipino shirt. Reading Cuban.
Let's give credit where it's due.
He's bearded too. If you pull out a fatigue hat, I'm leaving the studio. Look, we're in trouble.
That's my July 26th banner.
Is this guy Tim, whatever his name is, hard to deal with?
Tim Harden?
No,
Or
you
Tim
haven't got
Buckley?
Tim Harden, Tim
I was
Buckley.
listening to the cut. and it
Yeah.
was moving.
And is it true that he's a relative of William Buckley, the great conservative spokesman?
Ask him. Are you?
No.
I didn't
You're
think
not?
so. He doesn't sing, does he?
The resemblance was so strong.
He has a lisp.
He has a list. All Yale men have this. Look here.
It's education.
The thing is, well,
Not what we say in Cambridge. Get on that mic there,
Okay,
Herb.
what do you want to know? You want me to answer the question?
Yeah.
Oh, what was the question?
Well, you have quite a stable of artists. Rattle off a few and impress us with them.
Oh, no. Well, it's Tim
Rocky
Buckley,
Calavito.
and Marciano.
Who's
No,
Marciano?
wrong Rocky. The Mothers. That's a group that's hard to work with. Of invention, that is.
Yeah, there are a lot of
Did I
them.
clarify it a little bit? Right?
Now, let's keep this program clean.
And Freddie Neal.
This is a family show.
Whose family?
The family dog. Go ahead, look here.
That being the case, I don't have to watch anything. Let's see. No, Tim isn't hard to work with at all, really. Most people who know what they're doing aren't hard to work with. All you got to do is let them do what they're doing. The hard part is working with the people who haven't the faintest idea of what this whole business is about. Those are the people who run the business, you see.
Yeah, there's a changing of the guard. It's just
Yeah.
not taking place fast enough.
True. That's where the problem lies.
We got to get into that on the show. I'm going to have an all-manager show one of these days. But
Oh,
right now,
fine.
let me play the...
In costume.
In costume. Let me play the premier track from Goodbye and Hello. I don't mean it's the first track on the album. I mean it's the title track. And it is Goodbye and Hello. And it's a long, beautiful cut. And I think you should listen very carefully to this marvelous poetry and the marvelous rendering of it that is done by Tim Buckley. A couple of things here, Tim, that you've got one of the really outstanding record tracks. I hope you realize that that has been made in 1967, and that Goodbye and Hello. What Tim meant, though, when he said he realized, he was talking to his manager, Herb Cohen, about some plans for the next album here. You know, we try to be inside on everything here at the Music Factory, where everything's everything. I want to knock you out with another cut that I like in the album, Herb Cohen, because I know when you hear music, you don't see quarter note rest.
It just puts me to sleep.
You see dollar signs.
Dollar signs.
Dollar signs, yeah.
Oh, God, that went out with them.
If a record is good, I can always tell by the cash register in your eyes. But here it is, Morning Glory. Beautiful, Morning Glory, from the new Tim Buckley album, Goodbye and Hello. You know, one of the great things that's happening in music, I think, Tim, is the transfusion of ideas back and forth between classical music, jazz, rock and roll, rhythm and blues. And Creed Taylor, as a producer, has done a lot to bring jazz and pop music closer together. And we have a producer, Esmond Edwards, who has produced Ramsey Lewis, which was a real fusion of rock and roll music and jazz. And this is an artist that Creed Taylor has produced when he was with MGM, and that Esmond Edwards may get a crack at if Cal is still with us. It's Cal Jada, the great player from the West, and the song is The Fake Here. Yeah, here we are, riding into the distance, looking for another great hog fry in the sky. All the people here at the Music Factory, it's been wonderful having you on here tonight, Tim Buckley.
Thank you very much.
Your album is out of sight. Also had his manager lurking in the background, Herb Cohen, just back from a triumphal tour of Egypt. Hope to see you again sometime, buddy. But this is where music is sometimes popular and sometimes not so popular, and is constructed entirely out of balsa wood by H.H. Cohen. And I'm hired to give the last murmurings before we bury the whole darn thing. My name is Tom Wilson.
Clan of song, perché se la dolce, perché lei si